week, we get to interview amazing people, just influencers out there and shakers that just get shit done. So definitely tune in to all our past episodes. And I got my co-host back today, Ellie Santra. Last week she was on vacation. Jonathan Palmer stepped on in, and he got excited, right? He was like, maybe I could get in here more often. So you got to be careful. He wants to take that co-host seat.
How many Celsiuses did he have?
I think 3.
He said he got excited.
Three. You know, I think we were out of Celsius that day. So he couldn't drink more than 3, or I'm sure he would have got to like 6 or 7.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And
it depends on the vibe you want. If you want a chill vibe, you can have me. If you want the Celsius vibe, then
absolutely. And some big announcements. What we're going to do with our community moving forward is every single month, we're going to bring in a featured expert and actually do a Zoom meeting with them, share knowledge about certain platforms, like tonight's about LinkedIn and how to leverage it to build more clients, but also Owwll itself, right? Show you the inside of the app, how people like Ellie, myself use it to build rich relationships and really just grow your business. Because often people fail in business because they can't find enough people to speak to, enough meetings. And often people try to create shortcuts. But every person I ever interview, when you kind of, bring it back to the early days, they find out that, those relationships mattered to help them scale their business. And too often people see these social media clips and think, oh no, they're lucky because they figured out Facebook ads. Nope. I had somebody on my other podcast who did 21 million in revenue in 4 years. Not through 4 years, but this current year, 21 million, but it all started with that original few relationships to help scale it. But let's get into our guest today. Ellie, why don't you tell us who's in the studio today?
Yeah. So today we have Anthony Arnone here, and we met maybe a month ago at the Spirit Fest in West Palm. For those of you that don't know, I'm a musician. I'm also a meditation teacher. I love spirituality, crystals, all things spirituality. And I know we have a lot of people on the Owwll app who are in the wellness industry, who are coaches, who are into spirituality. So I'm excited about our guests today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to say thank you guys so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's very exciting, my first podcast. So, hello everyone on the airwaves. I'm very excited. I've been jumping around all day. But yeah, my name's Anthony Arnone. I'm the owner of Ruby's Healing Crystals. It's the one-stop crystal shop in Boca Raton. We have one of the biggest stores in the area. We are on the street that we're on right now. I'm right down the block. We're at 1501 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Suite 3 in Boca Raton. And yeah, I've been the owner of this company for going on 2 years now, and I've been working to build up the company for the last 4 years. So it's been a really awesome journey so far. We're all about crystals. We're all about positive energy. We're all about just doing the right thing by our customers and making sure everybody has a good experience. So
I wore my crystals today. This one, and I got my earrings on. My sister actually made these.
Oh, your sister made those?
Yeah.
Oh,
so she's like into
beautiful.
making, she does these for gifts for people. So I am curious though, how the heck you got started. It's not like a normal career path. So
yeah,
tell us how you got started in this crystal business.
So yeah, definitely not normal, kind of just how, I guess it was my path and fate. It was my fate, but I was working at a tech company, which was across the hall from our friends at Celsius. So, and they were great across the hall. So I was working at a tech company. I was managing the marketing department for that company. We did, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. So we did data verification and validation services, and we had a lot of the major upper education colleges on lock. Anytime you entered any information, whether it was for staff, for students, it would automatically verify it against USPS database and make sure all the numbers were correct and everything was good, so you don't lose numbers, lose emails. So I was doing that for a while. Didn't work out. I stepped away, and the CEO of that company was a close family friend of mine, and he kind of felt bad that he gave me this opportunity and then jumped ship when things didn't work out. So he helped me make ads on LinkedIn, ads on Upwork, ads on all the other kind of like work platforms for mobile marketing, because I got my degree from FAU. I'm a marketing major. And so I offered email services, I offered Instagram, building websites, just anything marketing. I was offering that. And a woman named Ruby hit me up. She had a house full of crystals. She was forced to shut her shop down. And we took it from there. We started out of her house, just bringing people to her house to buy crystals on Facebook Marketplace, and it snowballed.
Wow. And now
Yeah.
you have a space.
Yeah, now we have a space. So I didn't know at first if she wanted to just offload the inventory and then I'm on to the next job, or if she wanted to build something, but she saw the traffic that I started to get to come to the house. And I remember when she first got like a new shipment of crystals for the first time, and that's when I put it all together that, okay, we're going to start something. So from there, I built the Instagram, I built the website, the Facebook. We had a bunch of other platforms that came and went, and here we are today.
Is Ruby still in the business with you?
No, Ruby's completely out. She sold me the business, like I said, almost 2 years ago, right when we moved into this new space that I told you about.
And what made you get a storefront? Because often businesses like this could, of course, run out of a garage, and you go crazy with Facebook ads, you go on Pinterest, and you could outsource everything. You could hand off your product to someone else to package it, ship it out. We've seen a lot of businesses do that, and then they don't have to deal with a lease. They don't have to deal with employees, right? So what made you get a storefront?
So it wasn't my decision. It was Ruby's decision originally. I was her manager. I was running, once we did move into brick and mortar, I was running the shop. I was running all the social medias. I was handling customers every day. And it was her decision to pop up shop. And I thought it was a good idea. We started out in a very small space. It was very cheap. Even the space that we were at after that, which was in the same location but a different space, was still small, and the rent was very cheap for that spot. Ruby was a hustler, so she wasn't going to do anything unless it made financial sense to her, and that's she trained me in a lot of what I know now about business. So shout out to Ruby for that.
Nice. And do you guys offer, I don't know how big your space is. I haven't yet to go there, but I will go there after this. But do you offer other like services other than the crystals? I know sometimes the shops do like healing classes. Are you looking into that or doing that now? Or
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting into that. At first, it was a little slow. I've had events here and there. I've had a book signing there. I've had a few psychic events. We are doing a crystal class this Monday at 7:30 p.m. So if anybody's interested in the Boca area, definitely let us know. But yeah, so I'm looking into that now. I want to get different. I kind of want to build something where I can have different healers and different services offered by different people on standby, that people can come to Ruby's and book a certain person, almost kind of like the Owwll app with the calls, and how you want to call different people, book different people to come to our space.
A community in a nutshell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Not just a product, not just a
Exactly.
transaction, not just to come in here and be like, okay, I'll buy this $300. I don't know what this costs, but then just leave the store and never come back. Just like a sense of community, which is what more people want to be involved in today.
Yeah.
Right? No one wants to just be another number, another transaction. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you've heard of like the Cocoa Market, I'm guessing.
Oh, we've been doing the Cocoa Market since it started. Yeah.
So we had Corey on, like similar,
okay.
like a while back when it was kind of first starting, and
Yeah, that's so
even
cool.
just meeting people there. There's so many practitioners and people that I'm sure would love to come to your store and do events. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
we always have a blast at Cocoa Market. Shout out to Corey.
Yeah.
Good friend of Ruby's Healing Crystals, good friend of mine. So
Yeah. That's cool.
What is the percentage of online sales versus in person?
So it went like the scales tipped. So when we first started the business, it was mainly online. Keep in mind that about a little over a year after we started the business, COVID hit. So everyone was locked in. We started doing the live sales. We built up the website, and everyone was kind of locked in their homes. They were looking for ways to relieve stress, to find different ways to deal with everything that was going on. And a lot of people turned to crystals. So at first we were booming online. We had decent walk-ins, but since that, I've noticed a shift. The market online for crystals is extremely saturated now. So we have a lot of competition, and us being in Boca Raton, there are not a lot of stores that are like mine. So we thrive off of, being the one-stop crystal shop, one of the largest spaces in this area. And, that's what's keeping us alive right now. I'm building up the online. We got 15,000 on Instagram. We're about to hit 10K on TikTok. So everything's there. But right now, walk-ins are trumping on.
And there's nothing like seeing this stuff. Like, I'm going to grab this, and like, this thing is heavy. Like, oh, God. I shouldn't have grabbed this. I didn't know I was going to do here, but like Ellie's wearing, stuff today, in honor of your episode, but like it's so different, like seeing a picture of this online and then you're in a store and then you're like, holy crap, like look at all these crystals. And this is a good piece, to put on my desk or
Yeah,
my entrance of
absolutely.
my office when people walk in. And of course you have hundreds of these. I took a view of your Instagram account. I saw your store. And same thing with, what Ellie's wearing, right, Ellie? Like the items that you purchase, I'm sure it were a split decision when you went in to a
Well,
store
so
or.
I've had my experience in different crystal stores.
Okay.
I typically what they tell you, I don't know if you do this at your store, is that when you walk in, it's sort of like what do you gravitate towards, and that's sort of
Absolutely.
like what you should pick. Like there are millions of crystals in there, and it's just kind of walking around and picking things up and like seeing what feels good in your hands, right? What makes you feel more grounded. That's like typically what I've been told.
That's exactly what to do no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether you are a crystal expert and a crystal junkie or you know nothing, that's the way to do it.
Okay, I'm a rookie. So what does this mean? Like you guys know a lot about this stuff, right? So I come in a store, like what do you like why am I gravitated towards one versus another? And what is the meaning behind it?
So that's the whole point. So you would be coming in there not really knowing much about what's what, but you take a couple laps and eventually you find something that your eye just diverts back to multiple times and you're like, you know what, that's sick. I would love, you know exactly where you're going to put it, or you know exactly what you want to do with it, or maybe someone else came to mind and you're like, I need to get that for this person. Whatever the case, once you ask me what it means and I read to you the meaning, or I know off the top of my head one or the other, it resonates. And
yeah, it's really crazy. Like most likely I would be like, I don't know why I really like this one. And then they're like, oh, this is specifically for like if you're going through a breakup. Like they know nothing about you. And then I'm like, I am going through a breakup or whatever it is. It's like an intuitive feeling, knowing, deeper inner knowing. So it's fun. It's definitely fun.
it is fun, and the mysticism to it is very fun too, because a lot of people approach me and they're like, dude, there's no way you really believe in this stuff. Like they're rocks. Like that's all there is to it. And I'm like, I don't have a choice based on what I've seen, based on the experiences I've had working with stones, and just like the way that my life changed when they came into my life. I'm a full believer.
I
There's
see. I
definitely.
mean, you're wearing it too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is my trifecta. I wear this every day.
You got owls?
What?
You got any crystal? I mean, obviously things are shaped like owls all the time.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I think you know which one I'm purchasing.
Oh yeah. I have a few left. The owls are actually very popular.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just because we're in Boca and go FAU, but
Yeah.
everyone loves the owls.
Well, there's owls are wisdom, intelligence. There's
See? You know more than you thought. There you
I
go.
think we need one for prosperity right now.
Prosperity.
Financial prosperity.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I remember, I'll never forget, I was at it was the first Spirit Fest we ever did in West Palm, and this guy came up to me and I was like, oh, this one's for this one's for prosperity. He goes, that one's for prosperity. You have 1 million of those. You must be rich already.
Let's dive into relationships and why they matter. I think I'm muted. Talk.
What?
Check.
Are you muted?
No.
I'm muted. Just talk.
Check.
Anyway, okay. So back to I don't know. I can't read Jason's mind right now, but I think he was talking about relationships and why they matter. I mean, obviously for me, like every job I've gotten has been because of someone I knew, like at a networking event. I had applied to those online random jobs where like hundreds of people are applying and I didn't know anyone, never got any job. But when it was, a friend from my a cappella group in college, or friend of a friend of a friend, or met this person at a networking event. Like it's so much easier to, network and get connections just by knowing someone. I don't know exactly where you were going with this, but.
Yes, my mute got a mic by accident, so we just had to replug in a wire. But yes, just relationships in general. During the beginning of this episode, I mentioned another guest where you really said, look, even though I'm an expert on online sales and Google ads and Facebook ads, it still started with those meaningful relationships in the beginning. And look what happened with yours. Like you met Ruby, and then all of a sudden now you're owning a business. So I just wanted to touch base on that, because often when it comes to platforms like Owwll, immediately people say, I can make money. And tell people what to do, this and that, and charge them a fee. And I'm like, nope, you're missing the point. Owwll is about building meaningful relationships, connect with people, open as many doors as possible. And of course, the ones that close, let them close, but blossom the ones that open.
Yeah.
And you'll find good people. And I just sense like that's what you're all about.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're opening up your doors and you're saying, come on in, let's build a community. And I just want you to talk a little bit about how relationships in general matter in your life on the personal side, but also in business.
So, I mean, the classic saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Yes.
I mean, my whole life has been that. You
Yeah.
know, you said it perfectly. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So, when I was growing up, any job that I had was through friends or through
Yeah.
family or through somebody that I knew, any of the jobs that mattered anyway, the ones that I did well in, and relationships are definitely everything. On the personal side, I'm an only child, so I don't have any siblings. My friends are my siblings, and they hold me down no matter what. I have a beautiful girlfriend of 7 years. She holds me down no matter what. I have such a solid circle around me, and I truly believe that that's the only reason why I'm sitting here right now. I can give myself credit for what I've done, but I would not be anywhere near where I am now without all of the people around me, my family, my parents, amazing. I'm surrounded by so many amazing people, and I'm truly blessed, and it is the only reason I'm here right now, for sure.
Nice.
So relationships are definitely everything. And on the business side, yeah, I met Ruby. The only reason I met Ruby was because my uncle pretty much
Yeah.
told me to make Craigslist ads too, and don't sleep on those. He told me
Hey,
don't sleep on Craigslist.
we know.
Yeah,
We met through Craigslist or something. Wait.
No, it was, one of our other employees. Didn't you find her through Craigslist?
Yeah, I think 7 years ago.
there
Yeah.
it is.
Right?
There it is. Don't ever sleep on Craigslist. It got a bad rap back in the day, but there's a lot of good stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't know anymore if I would use Craigslist on a job.
Yeah,
ad.
maybe not today. I mean, LinkedIn.
I think 7 years ago, like it was an opportunity to do a job posting
Yeah.
for part-time situations. And then,
Mhm.
pretty much, it worked out really well. I used to do it all the time in New York City. Nowadays, you got to use more the Indeeds of the world or LinkedIn for
Yeah.
job postings.
That's what I thought.
Craigslist kind of took a little curveball for a while.
Yeah.
I don't use it as often.
That's what I thought I was going to find. That's where I thought I was going to find my next job. I mean,
Sure.
I did Indeed, I did Upwork, and I
Yep.
was doing LinkedIn ads. I thought for sure one of those three was going to land me something.
Yep.
And I sure as hell didn't think it was going to be running a crystal operation.
Yeah,
That's
I
for
was
sure.
gonna say.
That was the last thing. And I always say I've always been open-minded, but I've always had like little rocks in my room, but not for the spiritual benefits or any of that, just because kids love rocks,
You never know. My father, which I talk a lot during prior episodes, used to run a store in New York City called Captain Hooks.
That's
And it was very similar. He started, in the construction world. He was building banks. He's really good with his hands back in the day. We're talking, 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, he started collecting antiques back then. There was no eBay, right? You go garage sale hunting, and it was fun. It was a little hobby. And then he met someone who's like, you want to start a store? And it was very similar to your story. And it was in Port Washington, New York.
Okay.
And it was part-time. It was low rent. And he's like, sure, I'll open up a store with some of these goods. And then before you know it, he lived next door to someone who was, at the time, the developer of the South Street Seaport in New York City,
Oh, wow.
which became like one of the largest tourist attractions in the entire world.
Yes.
And my dad ended up picking a storefront that was right, in the main section. And then he created a whole brand around it. It's called Captain Hooks. And then he just started buying shit at flea markets, like crystals like this,
Yep.
but more like stuff you'd see on the Titanic, right? Anchors, buoys, ship helmets, just telescopes, like anything under the sun. But it was very similar to your story. It just started with one or two relationships, and it blossomed, and the passion behind it, right? He never,
Absolutely.
I'm sure if I asked him, it's not live today, but I'm sure if I asked him, like, how the hell did you start this thing? And he's like, and do you think you would be selling antiques? The answer would be no. It just kind of like
Absolutely not.
happened, and then the passion grew over time, and then he became the character, literally.
That's it. I had to know my product from a sales standpoint.
Yeah.
I have to be the expert on it if I'm going to be selling it to someone else, and through that I just got sucked into the entire community and the whole lifestyle around it. That's how it is.
I'm sure that many people would want to call you an owl and be like, "Hey, what crystal should I buy?"
Oh
Or
yeah.
"What do these crystals mean?" And
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
is so much knowledge behind it all.
There is. Everyone calls me the walking encyclopedia.
Would you
And
be able to know, like, if I show you this right now, like what
yeah,
this
that's a
is?
stalactite amethyst.
See, I didn't even know what it was, so now I know.
So
What is
that
it? What does it
origin
mean?
so it's a regular amethyst. The amethyst is,
Okay,
it's relaxation. There's also an element of protection there.
right,
For the crown
protection.
chakra.
Okay,
There's a lot of different, attributes of it, but that specific one. So that originally, you ever seen like the kind of like tube shaped crystals that have the crystals all around?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Stalactite. So that was
Oh,
a stalactite amethyst. So originally that was like a whole thing, and then they made slices out of it.
that's
So that's why
impressive that
you
you
have,
can just look at anything and
yeah.
be like, "Got it."
Appreciate it.
Okay, well, this part of the segment, we're going to start calling people on the Owwll app and patch them into the podcast. Hello, is this Wendy?
It sure is.
Wendy, are you okay being recorded? You are live on the Owwll podcast right now with our featured guest, Anthony.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Anthony. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I
Okay.
ran out. Hey, Jason, I ran out to get a Starbucks.
Oh,
Our
nice.
favorite.
It kicked in on my end. You could hear my voice. When I was speaking to Wendy about 2 hours ago, I was like falling asleep. I was like, I just finished the podcast. I need to go get a Starbucks to wake up because I got another show with Anthony later today. Well, Wendy, welcome to the Owwll podcast. See, I'm doing too many podcasts on one day. See, I think I need some more Starbucks. You didn't do the job, Wendy. But could you tell our audience in under 30 seconds a little bit about who you are and what you do? And then what we're going to do is we're going to have Anthony ask you a question live on air.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. What I'm most passionate about is helping authors and, well, become authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs, passion driven business owners become best-selling authors.
Very cool. That's
And
awesome.
within that model, within doing so, also giving them a platform to speak on. So I also host and create events.
Oh, that's wonderful. My mother was an English teacher, so I'm gonna have fun with this question. It's this question is dedicated to my mom because this is something that she's always
Oh, I
dreamed
love
of.
that.
So my
Okay.
mother has always wanted to write a children's book. She was a ESL teacher for elementary school for close to 30 years. What would your advice be for getting into that breaking into the children's sector of being an author?
Well, a lot of it is if she's passionate enough to really want to do that. So I would say just start, because when you start, then you are starting to open up all those other channels, how you can connect with the right people. So then you think about, what groups can I connect with? That would be teachers, mom groups. But I always say just start, just do it for yourself. Do it for your grandchildren or do it for the neighborhood children. Like, think small to just get started, and then start to think about building out a wider net.
Okay,
If
that's
that's your
really,
mom's dream,
yeah.
I
Well,
would
it's
love
one of
I
her dreams for sure.
one of her dreams.
Yeah.
What about
Okay.
you?
I
What
love
about
that,
you?
though.
Me, in terms of
I'm just writing a book one
writing a
day.
book. I mean,
Nice.
I'd love to. I think I don't know if it would be an autobiography or something fictional. But either way, or even something that I can base off of my personal experiences, but then put little twists on it and make it more exciting. I mean, I'd definitely be open to it. It sounds awesome. I've always been a great writer. That's always been one of my strong suits growing up. So definitely. And I've always wanted to start. I need to start journaling. I need to start writing stuff down. I write all my dreams down. So I'm
I forget
into
all
it.
my dreams. That's my biggest
You
issue. I wake up.
do?
I'm like, oh my God, I had this crazy dream. And then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, wait, I can't even explain. It makes no sense. I'm like, I knew it all, like right when I woke up. And then just like, it's gone.
You ever see something later on in the day and you remember?
Oh yeah, I have
it again?
flashbacks. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been here. I'm like, I went to Starbucks. I was with my team. I'm like, I feel like this happened. I've seen this vision. Maybe it's because I've been to Starbucks too many times, Wendy. But
You're dreaming about Starbucks. Do you want to share?
I was dreaming about Starbucks earlier, so it actually took me to
See that?
Starbucks.
Yep. See that?
Do you want to share with Wendy what you do?
Oh, absolutely. So I am the owner of Ruby's Healing Crystals. We are a local crystal shop in Boca Raton, Florida. We have anything from jewelry and small stones to showcase pieces, giant crystals, anything rock and mineral and crystal related. And we also carry metaphysical supplies and like incense and candles and sage and Palo Santo and stuff like that. So I'm big in the metaphysical world.
Oh, I love that. I love going into crystal shops, and I have crystals. I have them actually in our kitchen, in our entryway when you walk in. So you're
Okay.
talking my language. I love that.
Okay. What kind of crystals do you have?
I have an amethyst.
It's a great one.
I have a rose quartz. Those are like my two main. The amethyst I love that I have is a big heart.
Oh wow,
So
yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah, I just got some of those in actually. I have a few big amethyst hearts. I have the aura amethyst hearts as well. Yeah, they're super popular. And amethyst is the #1 recommendation I make for anybody who like doesn't know anything about crystals or is getting a first crystal, or especially for the home. Amethyst is great. And you said you have it by the door, which is perfect. That's you're doing it right.
I love that. Well, I have to know more about your store, where you're located. And actually, I was with a client the other day, and she created this walking group. She has a sister community online, and then she met with many of them in person to go for a walk. And then after the walk, we did a circle, and she gave everybody a little rose quartz heart.
Oh, that's
And the
wonderful.
ladies were, it's so good.
Well,
Yeah,
Anthony
they loved it.
he's starting to do events in his store too. So it would
Yes.
be really cool to maybe have like I know that Wendy, you do your circles and your networking events. And maybe there could be one at the crystal store.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're doing a class this Monday. And just to let you know, I know you asked about the location. We're right on Northwest 2nd Avenue. We're at 1501 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Suite 3 in Boca Raton. We're next door to Augie's Pizzeria and 4S Liquors. It's a very well-known little plaza right before Glades on Northwest 2nd. So definitely come check us out whenever you have time. I'd love to meet you in person.
I absolutely will be there and recommend, because I don't even know where there are any crystal stores. Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, we are one of the only shops dedicated to crystals in the area. So whenever I tell people, it's always a positive response, because like, oh my God, I didn't even know you were here. I've been looking. So yeah, absolutely.
I have a
really
question
appreciate it.
for you.
Yes.
I have a question for you. So have you thought about writing a book or about the crystals?
Not yet. I mean, now I am. I wasn't before, but now I am, now that I'm talking to you.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's a natural fit, because people really they don't know what the meanings are or how to select a crystal. And then if someone comes in, yeah, I think all day long a book for you would be perfect.
Yeah, even if it could be something like a guide as well. There are a lot of popular crystal guides, and everybody likes the one by a specific author with a specific viewpoint. So even something like that would be cool.
I mean,
Sure.
Anthony's quite the expert. I was asking him, I didn't even know the jewelry I was wearing. I just whipped it out and was like, what's this? And he was able to tell me exactly what it was and the meaning behind it. So he's definitely an expert.
I love it. And also your story, like how you got involved in that. I think everybody has a book inside of them, more than one book. And to actually, you love to write, right? So
Yeah.
to be able to share your personal story, how you got in this line of work, because I'm sure people that come into your store would be really super curious about that. So not only having, an explanation about the crystals, but also sharing your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody because people always ask me, they're like, how does a Italian dude from Long Island end up owning a crystal shop out here? And yeah, I think it would be great. That would be a great story to tell.
Oh, super
Let's
cool.
make this happen.
Well,
see
yeah,
that? The power of
reach out
Owwll.
anytime.
You see the power of
Yes.
Owwll right there? We
Yeah,
made
and
one call, and we had no idea that you guys had this in common.
Yeah.
Right. And then boom, you just talk and you have impact.
Well, when Ellie was showing me the app, I was blown away. I mean, I didn't. It was way more. It was way more than I expected, and it's really awesome. I saw the vision immediately when she explained it, so it's really cool.
Well, Wendy, thank you for joining us.
Thank
on
you,
the
Wendy. It was a
Owwll
pleasure.
podcast. We're going to connect
Oh,
you two after
great
the
to
show,
meet
of
you.
course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Later, Wendy.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. There you all saw the power of the Owwll app. You call someone for one thing, you just read their bio, but the bio doesn't tell everyone the entire story.
Yeah.
Right? You got to dive deeper and have a conversation. Too often, we're looking up somebody on their social media, looking at their follower count, looking at their metrics. Like, nah, it's not worth calling them. Like, what are you talking about? Get to know an individual. Like, there's so much more depth. Like you just said, you're from Long Island, right? My father's store's in New York City, so there's chance you were in his city, right? And
Yeah.
and then we might be from the same town. I don't know where you're from, but the point is, like, you just got to dive deeper into having a conversation with someone, right,
It's a
Ellie?
small
Yeah.
world. It's a very small world.
Okay, we're gonna do one more quick Owwll call. We're gonna look who's available. While I'm doing that, you and Ellie chat for a second.
I was checking too. I don't think my
Is the person that you
she's not on, but I see some maybe
Oh, I thought
Augustina.
that was her.
No,
wasn't
that
her?
wasn't
Oh wow,
her.
that's so
No.
funny.
Augustina could be cool. She hasn't been on the show yet. She's a new brand ambassador. She's an intimacy coach,
Very cool.
okay?
sexpert. Maybe we could talk to her about love crystals.
Deal.
Yeah, I'm sure she's got some knowledge
Or
on
do
that.
you have a heartbreak?
Got to
Ooh,
stay somewhat PG here on the show, not too rated R.
true.
It's all good. That's how I keep my business too. We try to keep it pretty PG.
Okay. Well, we're ringing her right now, but you two keep chatting
She's
while I'm
new
ringing her.
to the app, so we'll see if she answers. but-
Okay.
Okay, she is answering, so give us a little bit of time for it to connect.
Did you show everyone your shirt? I don't know
Oh,
if you
yeah.
can see it.
Hey,
Hi.
Keep rocking.
hey, Augustina, you are live on the Owwll podcast. Are you okay being recorded?
Sure.
Okay, you're here with
Hi.
Anthony and Ellie, and to
Ah,
get things going, can you tell our audience in 30 seconds or less a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, I can. I'm Augustina Rush, and I am a intimacy coach and a sexpert sensual massage therapist, and work with individuals and couples on all levels that are looking to really kind of expand anything under the intimacy umbrella. So that can be talking to their couples, learning new techniques or tricks, and just making each other feel comfortable and having a place to come and explore and learn new things, all under that intimacy umbrella.
Wow, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you get into that field?
Well, I got my massage degree in 2012 and studied Eastern Chinese medicine. And I have worked with couples, and I just kind of fell into it. I am a self-learner. For 20 years, I had my own company, and I had schools and 30 staff before COVID happened. And so when COVID happened, I decided to just shift my career into a new career and align myself with other people in the career, learn from, grow from, and mentors. And so it's been a really fun, exciting journey.
Wow, that's incredible. That's really great. That the adaptation.
Are you
during
there? Did
COVID.
I lose you?
Yeah, you are going in and out. I'm assuming you're driving. And
Yeah,
you're driving an Owlin.
I am driving and owling. Yes,
I do it all the time. I owl out, so
I
I
know.
completely
I'm
understand.
I'm doing that.
It's one of the best benefits of the app, but unfortunately, you hit some dead spots, and then all of a sudden you go in and out. Of course, but we heard everything. So Anthony,
Yeah, absolutely. That's also a
Well,
good,
that's
good
great.
TikTok idea, driving and owling.
yeah.
Little joke TikTok on that.
Yeah.
Funny. But yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about me. I own a crystal shop here in Boca Raton called Ruby's Healing Crystals. We are the one-stop crystal shop. We have everything from jewelry and little stones and tumbles to large showcase pieces, rare collector's items, and everything in between. And I also want to ask you, now that I told you what I do, is there any influx of crystals with your work? Do you utilize them at all? Do you have them in your massage space? What's your relationship with them?
Yes, I studied Eastern Chinese medicine and have worked with a shaman who was incredible. learned a lot from her, and I definitely believe in energy work through the crystals. Yes.
Wonderful. That's awesome, because it's definitely goes hand in hand with what you're doing.
Okay, I'm gonna just hold this.
Absolutely.
There we go. I need some good energy.
Yep.
I'm taking this big
Yeah,
crystal. I'm gonna hug it the rest of the episode. Give me good energy. Give me good energy.
Yeah, and you have your protection
Owl
stones
needs to
too from your, like,
scale.
energy vampires.
Giving me
Yep.
energy.
Do you have any favorites that you like to use?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I like obsidian. I like amethyst. I have a I can't remember the name of it. I found it when I was in Hawaii, and it just called to me. It just speak to me, and that's usually how I've always picked out my crystals. So
You gotta have a
I
rose
have
quartz.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, the
rose
rose
quartz. I
quartz.
love
Gotta have a rose quartz in your field. That's the
Yeah, I
stone
have
of love.
rose quartz too, and I have a huge rose quartz rock as you enter my house, and then I have abalone on both sides of my porch too.
Ooh, I love the abalone shells. Those are beautiful. There was I was just
Yes.
in Mexico. There was a lot of abalone art and stuff out there. Mother of pearl and abalone. Beautiful.
Mm.
Yes, it's so beautiful, and it helps ward off evil spirits.
Yep. We don't need any of those around here.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's like this. I brought a big amethyst cave that is sitting up on the table, and that's another thing that they say, like, amethyst is for protection, so you keep it by your door, and whoever walks in, they get cleansed, they get hit with that.
How do you?
Yeah, that's
frequencies.
right.
That's a question for. I'm sure people are wondering, how do you cleanse a crystal? Like, people probably come in and many people touch the same one. And
Oh yeah,
that picks up on their energy. So what do you
Yes.
recommend for people out there to cleanse the crystal?
sage smoke.
I've heard the ocean also cleanses it.
There's a few different ways. So you can go to the ocean, but from there, if you go to the ocean, do your research on what type of crystal you're cleansing. Make sure you're not putting anything in the water that's not water safe, because you will be very disappointed with the outcome, especially with the salt water. But yeah, I always burn sage, and I know that certain people are sensitive to it. I know certain people don't like the smell, but everybody who comes to my store, they always compliment how the energy is very neutral. It's very calming. A lot of people are affected by these things immensely, so they feel the frequencies, and everyone always tells me how calm and chill like the energy is in my shop, and how like clean it is. And I would attest that to burning sage. I do that almost every day.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my number one way. But you could do water. You can rest it on a bed of salt. You can charge it in the moon.
Yeah, I burn sage a lot too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's definitely good for your field as well.
Yeah, in cold water. You can give a cold water bath too.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's water safe,
But
water is
I've
great.
done the cold water bath. Yeah, and I speak the intentions into it. I'll clear the old intentions and speak the new intentions into it.
Oh
And then
wow,
I
yeah,
have that wand, like that cleansing wand. I
selenite.
use that too.
Yep. Yep, the selenite one.
Is that
yeah,
clear? Is that like a white clear?
White clear,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I have
it's kinda
that.
murky looking
I actually
too.
have that, and I didn't know what it was for.
It's for cleansing and
Someone
charging
gave
your
it to me.
stones. So you
Nice.
can rest
Yes.
your little stones on top of it, or wave it around.
I'm
with
learning
sage.
a lot today. I
Mm.
feel
Yeah,
like
and-
I'm such a rookie in this space.
And when she said that she
Yeah, you can cleanse them, wash them just before full moon, and then put them out under the full moon and recharge them.
she's doing it right.
That's gonna be my next album. Shh, don't tell
See this?
anyone.
We call
Like,
two
moon
people on this
songs,
app that I know
meditation.
well, and I had no idea that they had this background.
I know it's
Yeah.
so wonderful.
crazy.
The two people we called, and that whispering your intentions into it that's a really big key, because I don't know if you've ever seen the video of like when they froze the water and they said good things to one cup of water, and then they like screamed and cursed at the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then the ice
Motoruto
crystals
or
were different.
something.
Oh.
So like the one that they
Yeah,
screamed
with the
at,
water molecules.
the one that they screamed at was like sharp and looked like very like treacherous, and then the one that they whispered sweet nothings to was like nice and round. And sweet
Whoa.
when the
Yeah,
water froze.
so check that out. We did that in our classroom. I did it with rice.
Oh, that's
And
so
I put
cool.
rice in 2 different jars, like 2 different mason jars. And we labeled one love and we labeled one hate. And then we would play different music with them, and we would express different emotions to them that were, according to their label. And then after 30 days, the one that was labeled love, and we kept them both in the cabinet, 2 different cabinets. The one labeled love came out. You could eat the rice. There was nothing wrong with the rice. It was actually not molded or anything. And then the one that was labeled hate was molded and rotting from the inside out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real. It's
Yeah,
real.
that's the
It's
thing.
so
This stuff you can't make that up.
You can't make it up, and it really is.
Yeah.
It goes back to like whatever you put out, you will receive. So,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
whatever you're
And you
emanating
can put
throughout
those
the
under
day.
your put them under your pillow too at night before you go to bed.
I've
and
done that
those
before.
things,
I snuck my
right? It's
girlfriend
like,
one. My girlfriend was really sick, and I snuck one under her pillow, and she didn't know. And she woke up the next day. She was a lot better than I thought she was going to be. It's
Mm,
just little things
yeah.
like that. That's things you can't explain.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I have a
But it's
feeling you're
so
gonna
true.
meet a lot of friends on the Owl app.
I think so.
Apparently, we have a lot of crystal lovers on here.
I
So
think so. Yeah. Well, if you're into wellness and you're into making people feel good and you're into,
Yeah.
the energy of it all, it
It
always
goes-
goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
So
Yep, that's right. That's exactly correct. And when you work with that and you learn how to be open to that energy and learning what those different energies are within the stones to utilize them correctly, you can really feel the like you were saying with your girlfriend where you stuck that under her pillow and her not even knowing that it was because she was open and didn't have any preconceived notions of it not working.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And she's
Right.
she's not into it as much as I am, but she's definitely into it now, and she's one of my biggest supporters. So shout out to
Yeah.
Jasmine. Love you.
Woo!
Well, Augustina, thank you for joining us on the Owl
Yeah,
podcast
thank
today.
you.
And we're going to connect you
Absolutely.
two, of course, afterwards, so we could call you one-on-one.
That's great, you guys. Thanks so much for having me. You guys have a wonderful evening.
You too. Take care. It was a pleasure.
Okay, that is the power of the Owl platform. Now, our final segment of the show, brought to you by Ellie.
Yeah. So we always at the end do a little wager,
Okay.
a little bet.
I'm all down with that.
So we ask you to do something. If you fulfill your duty, then you get something from us. If you don't do it, we get something from you. So I'm gonna propose. So it's gonna be.
I know what I want.
I actually think I know what I want too.
We
But
could have two separate bets. I want some Owl crystals.
yeah, well, I know what I want. I want crystals too. But
Okay.
I think that what I want to recommend. So usually we just say take calls on the Owl app, but because he has a business and a storefront,
Oh,
I'm thinking maybe we do something where he has to get some downloads. So because you're always interacting with people, right? Maybe
Downloads on the app.
yeah.
I like this. I like this because people are going to come in.
Come in and
Like,
Oh,
if I
everyone.
need more knowledge about the subject, how do I
How do
either
I
contact
contact
you
you?
or other
Right.
people? And
Oh,
you could
yeah.
just say, hey, what's really cool is after hours when I'm not at the store,
you can
I'm
call
on
me on
this
Owl.
Owl app. I go live to make myself available, take calls on the weekends, after work hours. Just follow me, you get a notification, call me.
Yeah.
Right. I list my price at like $1 or so. And
Yeah.
it's just me sharing knowledge with the world. So I
Mhm.
like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's
So
not
I'm
bad
just
at
trying to
all.
think how many downloads. So we typically do it in the week. I would
7 days
say-
from right now.
Yeah,
so
7
next
days from now. Are
Wednesday.
you going to be in the store? I know that you hop around a lot.
Weekends I'm not around, but during the week I am. I flip flop, but you just gotta
Yeah.
just
That's
convene with
good.
me and
So
I'll
I'll
be
be
yeah,
there
as long as you have
Thursday,
some
Friday,
days.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you have that's 5 full days.
So how many downloads should we say? Thinking like 5.
5's fair.
Yeah, that's
5
what I was
downloads
thinking.
in a week.
But you have to show the app to them. And then, of course, you have a referral code. You get $10 on top of this. So
Okay.
you're helping yourself out because $10, every
That was
time
my
someone
next
uses your referral code, we'll show you after the show. But pretty much when they download, they get $10. You get $10 of credit, right? Not a real withdrawal amount to make calls. But I like that bet. That's something different. We haven't done
Yeah,
this
so it's
before.
different. It's a little more of a challenge, but I feel like you're always in contact with new people at the
Oh yeah, I
store.
know so many
You
people.
could also use your get your employees to use it, and then
Their
they
secret.
could share it with customers. So
Yeah, no,
That's-
absolutely. I think my employees would definitely benefit from it.
Okay. So he's
Yeah.
got to get to 5 downloads.
And now I gotta ask what's in it for me.
Okay. So it's a bet. So
Yeah.
if you don't get the 5 downloads, I personally want a crystal that is an owl, of course.
Oh,
That way we
okay.
could showcase
I
in
see
the
how this
studio.
works now. Okay.
Right?
Right.
We could
See how
put
you're
that.
doing.
We could put the crystal on the table, and that's
Yeah.
obviously worth something. I have no idea what crystals are worth, to be honest. I know that thing's like $10, $100, $1,000.
I sell little owls like this. It depends on the size. I sell them like between like 15 and 25.
Okay.
And then if you win and you get those 5 downloads, you get something from us. So that could be Having, you said you wanted to start a podcast, so that could be having our studio for free for an episode
Yep.
and getting to launch your first episode here, or just doing your own thing here. It could be what else? I don't know. What
I mean, I like that. I
Well,
definitely
or
like that.
it could be
I
anything.
have
You
to
could
give
be,
it
Could be
some
an
thought.
introduction
You
to
could give it
someone
some
on the
thought.
app. Obviously,
Yeah,
you
and
know a lot of people in your space on the app. You just spoke to 2 of them, but sometimes you don't know who's on the app. But we specifically know certain people that you should connect with. Of course, I do some
Yeah.
with FEU every week, right? Of course,
Yep.
Our
Owls.
other show is ran in collaboration with FEU. I get you in front of a classroom setting with
Yeah,
our
that'd be
my
wonderful.
co-host to just tell them about your entrepreneurial journey, and that could be just giving back to the students, because sometimes it's hard for a lot of alumni. Like, they want to get back in front of a classroom, but they don't know where to start to get in front. So I have obviously tied to the university locally here,
Amazing.
and just your way of giving back to other students.
I love that. Yeah, I'm alumni.
I don't know.
at
So anything you
FAU.
want to do.
I'm alumni at FAU. We pop up there on the breezeways twice a week, so I love
Nice.
FAU. So that would be wonderful. Yeah, no,
whatever
Which
you
bet
want, really.
gotta
Just
pick.
think
You
about
gotta
it.
pick. Mine's
Think about
right
it.
now.
what we want is a crystal. She wants crystal.
Yeah, I
and
mean
if you win,
that can be done either way, but I'm confident I can complete this bet. So oh man, do I have
We
to
should
pick right
exclude
now?
You don't have to pick right now.
we could
Okay,
exclude. We should
okay.
exclude staff. I feel like this might not be fair if he goes like, you have to download this app.
No, I would give them the choice too. I don't. My staff
got you.
knows I'm not that type of.
I
guy,
got
so
you.
I wouldn't force it. So because
Yeah, but I think it's good if the staff has it, because then they're
well, one of my employees, he does his own thing, and he does like website design and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So like he's the
he's
person
gonna like
that I
this
really,
regardless,
yeah.
yeah.
He's the person that I really would be pitching it to. And then,
Okay.
my other employees have their own stuff that they like to do. So I'm not going to force it on them at all. But
Okay.
we'll see if they do.
So what would you like if you win? We do have to announce on the show, so that way
We have to announce it on the show.
we shake on it,
okay.
Okay.
which concludes our episode today. Do you
All
want an
right.
introduction to get you inside an FEU classroom so you could speak in front of students, tell them about your entrepreneurial journey? That's one option. Option 2 could be to use a studio, where if you launch a podcast, we'll let you use it for an episode.
Option 3 could be a lot of Celsius.
Yeah, no, I'm good on the Celsius.
I mean, it could be something that we're not thinking of. I'm just we're
Yeah,
giving you just concepts.
It's hard when you're on the spot.
Oh, it
you
could be
know, it's-
something like you could get featured in, a like, I don't know, on the Owwll app, where you get like your own category or something for like a
Okay.
day, or
We could put
All right.
the
Or you-
category spirituality up on the Owwll app, and like
or
the third
something
position.
where
So you'll
you're-
get more calls if we do that, of course.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
got to take advantage of it and make yourself
Yeah,
available that week more
100%.
frequently. But of course, we cater to everyone throughout the United States, not just Boca.
Yeah.
So
You know what? I keep going back to, if I can get the 5 downloads, I will throw a podcast together in here. I would love
Okay.
to use this studio. I think it would be so much fun. I've always wanted to kind of like do my own thing with it. And
okay, that's fair.
I think that's
And it
really
could
cool.
be a call-in thing too, because we have that ability. So
Yeah.
if you had like people calling you, even a call-in show where they're just like asking you about
Okay.
crystals or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'd love to.
Okay, there it is. It's a
Shake on
bet.
it.
We got a bet
Woo.
going.
Shake on it.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Well, that concludes today's episode. Thanks for joining us, Anthony, on
Thank you
today's
guys so much
show.
for having us.
Everybody listening, we'll be back next Wednesday right around 5 p.m. We do these shows live. Occasionally, we'll switch the show times around, but we'll always announce it on our Instagram account at Owwll App. So follow us there. Of course, download Owwll and connect with Anthony one-on-one. See you later, everybody.
Bye, guys.